The other week we posted a video about 6 issues that I had with Star Wars The Last Jedi, and now I have the monumental task of picking all the things that I liked about the film. Wish me luck. Welcome to Radioactive Screen, and this is 6 things that I liked about Star Wars The Last Jedi. The Force connection between Kylo Ren and Rey. So one of the more interesting things in the film is the Force connection that we see between Rey and Kylo Ren. The Force physically connecting two characters isn't something that we've actually seen in the films thus far, and it really helps in exploring the dynamic relationship between the two characters. We get to see Rey reluctantly coming to terms with the fact that she sees conflict still within Kylo Ren, and we get to see Kylo's intrigue surrounding the still mysterious Force user that had previously bested him in The Force Awakens. It's something that the film is able to explore really, really well, and it's one of the few highlights that we actually see in this entry to the franchise. The connection is later revealed to be the doing of Supreme Leader Snoke, in order to play on Kylo Ren's inner conflict in helping to bring Rey directly to Snoke himself. However, after the death of Snoke, we actually see the Force connection happen again towards the end of the film, which I think can mean one of 2 things. Number 1, Snoke was lying, which would be crap. Or number 2, Snoke's still alive. Please be the latter. Please, JJ, you got this. I believe in you. Luke's Force projection. Now this is something that I can actually see both negatives and positives for. Whilst we were left with a bit of disappointment that we don't actually get to see the physical clash of lightsabers in an epic showdown between the two, it was, however, quite pleasant to see Luke using the Force in this manner. Now Luke is meant to be one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy, so it was fitting to see that actually being put forward on the screen. And it has to be said, what we do see is still pretty cool. Epic. From the every gun we have moment to the fancy pirouetting that Luke does to dodge all of Kylo Ren's attacks, it certainly does stand out as one of the best moments in the film. Porgs! Yeah, I like the Porgs. Sue me. Yoda's cameo. Without a doubt, one of the more welcome moments in The Last Jedi was the cameo from the wise old Jedi Master himself. They managed to perfectly encapsulate the Yoda that we all know and love, both in personality and look. They managed to do this by taking him back to the more puppety version that we got originally in Empire Strikes Back, rather than the CGI version that we got in the prequels.
Let them have you. Page turners. They were not.
The throne room scene. It's fair to say that it's pretty unanimous amongst fans that this is by far the best scene in the film. Snoke's death aside. It's a beautifully choreographed and visually stunning fight scene, and it's one that sits high in the ranking of Star Wars movie duels. It sees Kylo and Rey fighting side by side against the supremely badass Praetorian Guards. Now, as mentioned earlier, we didn't actually get to see any lightsaber on lightsaber action in this film, but that was made a little bit easier to take thanks to this scene. And finally, Kylo Ren. Many Star Wars fans had contrasting opinions about Kylo Ren after The Force Awakens release, with some people believing him to be too emotional and angsty, and others, myself included, and others understanding that those have always been the most prominent traits for dark side users in the Star Wars franchise. The whole idea about you being a powerful dark side user is that you feed off your anger and you feed off your emotion. And this is something that Kylo does throughout the entire film in a near perfect performance by Adam Driver. In all of the Star Wars films, there's always been a theme of good versus evil or dark versus light, and the characters have always either been on one side or the other. However, one of the things I like most about Kylo is that you just can't quite pin his motives down. Throughout the film, the character is full of conflict. However, he eventually decides to seize power after the event of Supreme Leader Snoke's death. Yet there still seems to be room for him to turn back to the light side, and to that I say, bring on Episode 9. And there's the list. Sadly, in the grand scheme of things, it is a film where the negatives do outweigh the positives. But there still remains hope that the trilogy can be salvaged with Episode 9 due out next year. If you missed it, please do check out our previous video, 6 Things I Hate About The Last Jedi. And if you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.
You ever see Darth Vader throwing a drop, mate?